What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? It is hot as hell. I ain't gonna even lie. What's cracking, media? What's cracking, Eric? How y'all doing? So apparently, I don't know. Somehow we went live, and I paid for premium on Twitter, and it's not going live. So hold on, let me retry this again. So hopefully it's going live now. Please upgrade a print or stream to a different destination. I have a premium account. Go live. Okay, so I got to figure that shit out later, apparently. I just paid $8 for no reason. All right, well, we're going to get into training camp today and go over Kyle. BA has reported. So Jason and I were discussing a little bit on the BA situation. But before we do all that, as always, we've got to pay. And then we'll get the show cracking.
Today's episode is sponsored by Power Brand Systems. Need help getting new customers for your business? Let Power Brand Systems help you grow with their powerful tools. Visit powerbrandsystems.com/Niner Faithful Radio for more info. For the Faithful, by the Faithful Off Season Sale is happening now. Save 20% on all For the Faithful, by the Faithful Season 1 through 3 gear now through June 30th. Go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop to save. Follow us on social media at Niner Faithful Radio on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and TikTok, and at Niner Faithful R on X. If you like our content and would like to support the show, consider leaving us a tip in our tip jar at NinerFaithfulRadio.us/tip jar. Join our exclusive membership community where you get exclusive NFR content not available anywhere else. Join our exclusive chat, 20% off of all non-sale For the Faithful, by the Faithful gear, and much more. Visit portal.ninerfaithfulradio.us/login to join.
All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, faith of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
Rice has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana, touchdown, John Taylor.
Niner Faithful Radio, the show hosted for the faithful, by the faithful, brought to you by Power Brand Systems.
What's cracking, Jason? How you doing, bro?
Local faithful, I just caught slipping.
You're hella muffled, bro.
So I got caught slipping on that one. Got to put the hat on.
You're muffled, bro.
Okay, I know what it is. Hold on.
Anyway, what's good, Roberto? I think it's like 90 something. I think here.
Is that better now? Hello?
Yeah, hold on. Okay, good. Yeah.
I gotta figure out the audio because every time you switch the background now, it switches my audio.
Yeah, there's some other shit. After the show, bro, we're gonna have to have a little meeting because I guess we gotta reconnect Twitter or some shit like that. And anyway.
Well, how's it, man? It's been a minute.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the dynamic duo back together. Hope y'all like the new setup. Your boy's been out hard enough. God, bro, I'm so pissed, bro. You don't even know how hard I worked on this shit the last 40 days, bro. But yeah. No, it was cracking. How's the summer, bro?
It was a good summer. Obviously, it's still hot as hell everywhere. Actually, it's only like 75 degrees right down here where I am, so it's kind of nice. I know it's hot as fuck for you guys, so make sure to drink a lot of water. It's just like 1875. But
How's that even?
I'm glad to be back streaming. We'll do this show today. We will have the weekend review show on Friday. And then come the start of season, we'll start moving into where we have shows every day.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things I wanted to figure out after the show is exactly when we're going to be starting all that. Because it's going to be a little weird day. So we can't really do our, normal Monday review and stuff. So we'll go ahead and we'll get the schedule up for all y'all. Jason, hold on. I've been waiting to pay this clip, this audio for so long. Hold on, let me see.
You that smell? That smelly smell that smells smelly? It's football season.
Oh, I'm so excited, bro. I've been like a little kid all day. Like every time I watch the presser, so when Kittle Core, when I was like, Kittle Core, I would just be like,
I loved Kittle when he was talking about where it was only him and Fred in the locker room. He was like, hey, football.
Exactly.
Reminded me of that scene from The Simpsons where Homer's like, where he got mad and then he was like, football. Yeah, it's good to see
the live. Go ahead, bro.
It's good to see everybody again. I did jump on a couple of shows here and there over the summer, but good to be back on the flagship show and getting all that ready to go again this year.
Yeah, it was Bosa looked more cut. Normally he looks big. I thought he looked a little slimmed down and a little cut, but yeah, the mustache. I don't know. I was kind of digging the mustache.
I kind of liked it on Bosa. Like, not everybody can rock the stash and look good with it. I thought it looked pretty good on Bosa. It was the hair on Bosa that had me more freaked out. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Kyle's hair was a little longer too. Kyle reminded me of?
I'm gonna miss the Shanna stash. There was so much merch that was going to be sold with that. You get you get a 2-for-1 special, buy the hat, get the stash to go with it, all this kind of stuff.
Oh man, got opportunities. We got to convince him to be back for the playoffs. But I will say this: I do like
He does look like
core upsets. That's like a little bit. I was like, all right, bro. Like this is the first week back, and we're over here talking about mustaches. Like, and I understood most of the questions were going to be about BA. I mean, people have jobs to do, obviously got to do your job. But the frustrating thing about it sometimes is like, we've been dealing with Lynch and Hand for 8 years. We know that they're not going to, Kyle's going to told I didn't like my business putting out there when I was a player, so I'm not going to put anybody's business out there. But the one thing that I did find interesting was, last year, and I hate to be this guy. Like, I hate to hold him to the fire because he said this last year with Nick Bosa. It means, this would be like, I bet you John Lynch regret saying that they wouldn't trade Nick Bosa just because of how much it's come back to bite him in the ass. But I didn't feel – I'll put it to you this way, and I think you said it best, but I'll go ahead and let you give your thoughts after that is kind of interesting, quarterback things. I put it this way, that close. BA obviously has his number. Niners have obviously their number. And I'm curious to see if BA is willing to take this all the way, and possibly miss games. If not, at least like Nick Bosa did hold out through all the preseason where it's pretty much like, all right, bro, we're going to get you done. Mm-hmm. I just don't see the Niners folding like they did with Nick Bosa.
No, we have a more of a better replacement in the building kind of thing.
Yeah, like right or wrong, I think they look at it and they say, we got Kyle who's going to scheme and do his things. Mm-hmm. We got Cowing, JJ steps up. I'm not necessarily saying that they're right or they're wrong. Which crack is Steve-O? But I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, but I don't see them folding on BA. So to me, if you ask me when is BA going to sign, when BA realizes the Niners aren't going to give him what he wants, and is really open up negotiations on more of a, I don't want to say equal playing foot, but without the whole, yeah, bro, you're not getting close to Jefferson's guarantees,
Yeah.
and we're not giving you 30-something million a year.
Yeah. As far as BA's contract whole situation goes, there's two ways of looking at it. There's one, you look at it as just me, the man, however you want to, man, woman, child, whatever you want to call it, that provides for your family. Would you not do some goofy things in order to set your family up for some generational wealth? Because I would.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of things I would do. Just want to say what's up to Tommy over on the Instagram right now. How's it, Tommy? He's
What's up?
his usual hey fairies. So that stuff doesn't really bother me so much, because if I had a chance to get 30 mil a year, or even like 25 mil a year, yeah, you can bet your ass I'm going to do some funny things that I probably wouldn't do normal. So there's that aspect of it. As a man, I don't care what you're going to do for that. Make your money, BA. I'm 100% behind BA. Get your cash. As a fan, I'm only, to be honest, there's all these people saying they just, trade him now, get rid of him. He's not going to be a good team player. I'm only slightly on that train. Like, I'm in the line to buy the ticket, but I'm considering not buying the ticket only because he hasn't done anything really detrimental yet. And it's kind of annoying, you see him liking all these posts from like the Steelers, all the stuff that he's doing with Jay Daniels from the Commanders.
Yeah.
Even released like part of the playbook, which I thought was kind of like, what the hell, man? That was kind of crazy.
That was
that was a whole. I was like, whoa, we're seeing like an actual playbook from another team. That was pretty crazy. I'm not willing to just say, again, it leads into that part to where it's just like, you know what? He hasn't come out and been like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck this team, fuck this town. So it doesn't bother me. And I don't see why everybody's turning on him so much. Because again, anybody else given the chance, go get your money. I'm going to support you getting your money.
I mean, I would believe that the Redskins would be more pissed at Chase Daniel,
right?
Gave away part of our playbook or whatever, than the Niners would be upset at. Times like this, I really like to go to Dave Lombardi, and the reason I like to go to Dave Lombardi is I feel that he's the most. This commenter on the YouTube on the presser today, I think, said it best. You want super positivity, you go to Lombardi. You want negativity, you go to Grant. You want in between, you come to Guy Haberman. I would say you come to Niner Faithful Radio, but that's just me. Clearly he hasn't listened to the show.
And if you want the Homer answer, you go to Mayoko.
Yeah, you want the Homer answer, you go to Mayoko. So I don't believe. Look, is it annoying? Yes. I'm not one of those people that like, this is the frustrating thing about it. Fans are fickle, and like I said, I'm all for BA getting this money. Like, it's not like, look, will it come out of my pocket? I mean, I can see my season tickets going up, $5 a game or something like that. Personally, I think that's more going to happen with Brock than BA. But so yes, eventually down the line, as fans, does it come out of our pocket when tickets, merchandise is more expensive, those type of things? Yes. But man, I don't give a shit. I would pay everybody. I would pay Mitch $60 million a year, and I wouldn't give a shit. But I feel a little different with BA because a lot of it has been, and when I say potential is, I know that there's a radio station out here, a sports radio station, 95.7 The Game.
Yeah.
They're not the official Niner station because KMBR is the Niner station, but they do a lot of Niners content. So they were on these, I forget their names, but these two Niner fans, they have a show there. They were on air today. They were arguing BA over Devo, right? And they're saying the basic, and one of them was saying Debo. What's up, Tommy? Good to see you, bro. Debo basically.
Tommy's showing up in 2 places. How's it, my man?
Yeah, love it, love it. More views, baby. Let's see. It says Grant should shoot. You know, I'll say this about Grant, and like I said, I've met the man personally. I drank a beer with the man. You know, I have no problems. I just see like I saw his last video before I went ahead and got into the office here to start. His last video said Kyle Shanahan getting snarky with Grant, right? And I'm assuming it was somewhat about, you know, Kyle and his snarky.
I didn't take that as snarky.
I
I took that as Kyle trying to be funny and not knowing how to be funny. Like he was trying to crack a joke, and Kyle doesn't know how to be funny.
It's to me, I step back and I said, okay, is that gossip? Is that because I'm not a gossip channel.
Yeah.
I like watching Jerry Springer. I'm not like trash TV type of guy. So I said, is that Niner content? Like you're reporting on the Niners? Or is that drama TV about basically your relationship with Kyle, the head coach of the team you cover? And do I want to spend the next 47 minutes to an hour? Oh, yeah, it's fucking hot as shit, bro. You're telling me, Kenny. Do I want to spend the next hour of my life basically hearing Grant bitch and whine about how Kyle's snarky to him? Like, wisdom about my football team listening to this podcast. No, and I always go back, and I think you've said it the best, Jason. You and I are interested in being like NBC Sports Bay Area. You know, we're interested in being ESPN, those type of channels. He's interested in being TMZ.
Yeah.
You know, which is fine. Hey, look, TMZ gets fucking shitload of fucking views and all that type of shit. More power to you, brother.
There's a spot for.
Yeah, there's definitely a spot for it. And I'm not going to blame you if you don't find it entertaining. And I will say this about Grant is that sometimes his perspective of not, I'm going to, you know, get on and you know, drink the Kool-Aid. I almost said something else. That's why I said get on your knees and shit. But, you know, is it nice?
Miss
Challenge
Teresa.
Kyle. What's up, Miss Teresa? Good to see you, baby. Am I happy that instead of asking Kyle about his mustache or another BA, am I happy that Grant asked the question of Kyle? Last time you said you felt that you could get the deal done with Debo, which is the comment. A question. I'm assuming he felt Kyle was snarky in his response, but I appreciate that. I appreciate somebody saying, think that you can get this contract with BA when there clearly hasn't been. If we are to believe, because this is the thing about it, and this is one of the reasons why I think BA is doing this, is that the Niners haven't spoken since the draft.
Yeah.
So all we've heard is from BA, right? He has to know that. He has to know that Kyle's not going to get on, or John Lynch is not going to get. So he knew he had the ear of the fans until training camp started. So to me, I don't have any personality against BA. I don't feel what he's done has been detrimental to the team. Because why? Because he showed up today. Because if he hadn't showed up, what was every single question Kyle going to be and John were going to be asked about? When do you expect BA to be, you know, when if BA held out Kyle's press conferences every day, what was the first question going to be asked? Has BA reported today? When do you expect BA to be report? You know, and that's when I feel it becomes a distraction. So to me, I think any animosity that BA and I could feel is gone, because to me, he hasn't crossed that team distraction yet. I'm gonna be right back and see if I can take care of that.
Okay. now that my name is apparently Niner Faithful, TJ is going to go and try and fix his audio and video stuff real quick. Like, for those that may or may not, I think he was trying to get to the point where he was saying where had it not been for Grant asking that question, how many serious questions were they going to ask at that press room? Like, they'd ask about the mustache and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't see it necessarily as a snarky response from Grant. Let's see what the Steve BA versus DBL's career. Yeah, I mean, to Steve-O's point, we are our worst own enemy when it comes to being a fan base. There's 9 gazillion 49ers content creators out there. And the problem with that is that there's going to be so many. Everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody thinks that they're right, and so they're always going to push their own agenda, especially the guys who push the far out crazy ones, because the more crazy your opinions are and all that kind of stuff, the more views and such you're going to get. So I understand that. But back to the whole Grant thing, I just think that, especially with Grant, I don't think Kyle especially knows how to deal with Grant, with how he is. And so, while it may come across being a little snarky, like I said, the way I took it, I watched the presser because I was actually in between runs, so I actually sat down. And I took it as that Kyle just didn't know how to make a joke of the situation. And it comes across, like you said, kind of him being a little snarky, maybe a little bit of like an asshole. But to be honest, I just don't think he knows how to turn it into, like, that's just not, some people just can't be funny. And that's probably, something Kyle's not good at. All right, we got Kenny in here. I think Grant just needed a reason to do a show, which I watched, and had a little to do with actual football. Yeah. I'll just say right now, I don't watch Grant. Ever since the whole thing with Kinlaw, to me, that was him being a low-key bully and pushing someone to a corner where he knew he was going to get that sort of reaction. So, to me personally, I have absolutely no respect for Grant Cohn for that situation. So, again, like I said, any content of his that comes out, I don't watch. Hey, what's up, Captain Niner?
Hey, what's up? What's cracking? I don't know why the fuck it switches the camera.
You look a lot better now.
Okay, so
I don't know how to switch us, but you do. But your video is a lot better.
All right, cool. So I think just a quick little thing, bro. I think what I'm gonna have to do is, just before we go live every time, I'm gonna have to just restart the modem, and until I can get.
I used to have, when I used to play Lineage full time, that's a wild type game. When we did big raids, I used to have to do that. Anytime there was a big load or anything like a big load with lots of people and everything like that, that sounds absolutely terrible. I would always, anytime there was a big raid with a lot of people, I always have to restart my modem because I knew I was going to have issues. So, I mean, it's probably not a bad idea to do.
Yeah, so that'll just be a note I have. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying before all that shit happened, I don't think it's been a distraction. Now, we'll see if it's a hold-in, and then we could maybe talk about being a distraction. But to me, I don't know. I'll say this: the longer it goes on, likely, I think it is that he gets extended this year. And I think that we'll leave it at. Quick before we move on, we're gonna go ahead and do one more read, or we're gonna do our second read, and then we'll go ahead and we'll hop.
This segment is brought to you by Shop49ers.com, the official online store of the 49ers. Use our affiliate link in the description to get the latest official Niner gear, save 10%, as well as help out this show.
Yeah, so make sure you can get a lot of the gear you see behind Jason and I. You could actually get our affiliate link. Link is in the description. 10%, and we get a little bit of kickback from your purchase without it costing you any more, and it helps pay the bills. You know, everybody's talking shit about my camera looking like 1875 and our internet and everything. Well, you know what? Start buying gear from our affiliate link. Start signing up for Power Brand Systems. Start doing these things, and we'll be able to get a. Your boy's balling on a shoestring budget, bro. I got about $1,000 in savings. Oh, by the way, I did not want to announce this without you on the show. The dynamic duo will be together this October 10th. I was having to think about the debt. Your boy is going.
I think it'll be the 8th, but yes, for the game on the 10th.
Yeah, the game on the 10th, I will be live and direct. You will see the first ever non-ghetto. Not ghetto, basically me and Jason trying to squeeze our fat asses into the screen with my phone. To see a proper NFR with Jason and I. I'm going out to Seattle this year. I got to get Madden. I'm trying to basically figure out what bills. Hopefully trying to get a job before I do it, but I will try to do it quickly. I'm going to go ahead and buy my ticket for the I kind of want to see if maybe we could do an NFR 49ers Gold Rush type of thing, maybe. But if not, I'm going to say, hey, what's up, Chapman? You know, lock it, see if we can get locked. Basically, I'm going to try to talk to Chapman. If not, can't work anything out on that end, I will be buying probably, I would hope, within the next my tailgate ticket and the night before ticket.
I can't wait to have you up here for that game, for the Seattle game.
It's gonna be
always a blast up here. So somewhere in this room, I'm not sure exactly how we're gonna set it up to get both of us here at the same time. It's probably
I'm gonna bring my mic.
Well,
yeah,
I don't think we need my mic because I have the one mic that'll pick us both up. We're gonna have to reposition some things. I think is all we're gonna have to do.
All right, bro.
But yes,
we'll figure
it out. So I talked
to
the wife. You guys will be here. You guys are flying in. I think you guys said Monday night. We'll do the show Tuesday together. Maybe we can
probably do something Wednesday.
Yeah, something Wednesday, and then Thursday. Well, Wednesday maybe we'll go up to Seattle early and we'll do a live podcast from up there.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so we can do that. But yeah, so it's gonna be cool. My boy Mac that you met, some of the people have seen pictures of him. Him and his sister from Hawaii is gonna come up here. It's gonna be good times.
I know there's gonna be. I haven't seen everybody. Any of my chapter brothers or anything like that. We actually just. I can't believe I forgot that. Before we go any on the show, I just want to give a special shout out to my homie Angel. Recently passed a couple of days ago, unexpectedly, like out of the middle of fucking nowhere. I'm scrolling Facebook and I seen my chapter president, La Presidente Lisa, post about it. She had known him since they were. We have the Andrew Hill connection. He went to obviously graduated school before I did. But, we both went to Andrew Hill and everything like that. So dedicate to the show to you, brother, and rest in faithfulness, homie. I know you're going to be with us at the row and the Field of Genius this year in spirit, bro. Rest in peace, homie. But I just wanted to make sure I got that out of the way. I can't believe I didn't think about that. But yeah, we'll figure it all out. I can't wait. Me and Bubby have been talking about it. She's started to look up restaurants she wants to try and different stuff that she wants to do. Yeah. She's been looking up stuff, and I'm just like, oh, this bitch is
like, how much you trying to get done while you're here, man?
Yeah. Well, because I told her, I said, babe, we got to understand this is the middle of the week, so we don't even get the whole, homie, come out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leave Monday. We don't even get that normal vacation where it's the weekend type of thing. We smack dab right in the beginning of the week. I think
me and the wife are taking off Tuesday through Saturday from our jobs, so we will be home.
But so Tuesday we're doing the show. Wednesday we got which I don't know about your girl, but my girl said she before, but she doesn't want to do any of the game day stuff, which I told her that's okay. That's our thing. But I said, Wednesday we got that going on. I told her, I said, Friday, I promised her, I said, okay, Friday could be our day, babe. Whether, assuming that y'all would have been at work, I was like, we'll just leave and we'll kind of stick around the airport type of situation, Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, you're going to get your first ever NFR together live. It's going to be, not our first together live, but at least our one that's not gettily done on
from
the phone.
Seattle on the road.
From Seattle. I can't wait. I'm really excited. It's going to be a trip, bro. Like I've seen the stadium, obviously on TV and everything like that for so many years. Been to a number of Niners Seahawks games out here. But I told my girl, I was like, it's a little interesting. I've been so home based. I mean, all my teams are from the Bay Area. And I've never been to a Lakers Warriors game. I've never been to a pro basketball game. I said, so anytime I've seen any of my teams, it's always been home. It's always either been Levi's, Candlestick, the Shark Tank, Candlestick for the Giants, or AT&T, or I guess it's called Oracle now. So it's always been a home game. And then when we went to Denver in 2022, it's kind of like almost like a situation of like, bro, it's Denver, Colorado, and it's Niners Broncos. Like that's not going to be real, like, bro, I'm in enemy territory type of situation. I'm excited. I've never really been outnumbered like that.
Oh, you're wrong.
Experience. I'm excited.
It'll be a little rough
to meet all the faithful. I don't expect nothing less. I told my girl, I said, I don't know how you are, bro, but when I put myself out there, I'm not faithful, babe. Everybody who knows me, I would say you probably only have to know me 5 minutes before you realize I'm a diehard Niner fan. I said, but that's the thing about it. When everybody any person who wants to text you like, hey, I saw the Niners win today, congrats, bro, and all that positive shit, it goes back twice as hard when it's negative,
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, bro. Growing up in a family of pretty much Raider fans, pretty much almost everybody and pretty much every one of my group homes was Raider fan.
Hey, most of my family
I'm pretty sure I can know. Hey, I mean, me, my grandpa are all the only people in my family that I would call actual Niner fans. Anybody else is pretty much either like, oh, they watch because it's the local team, or oh, they're my second favorite team or whatever. But yeah, like me, my grandpa, and even my uncle Russ, who is a quote Niner fan because he went to high school with Brent Jones. That's the only reason he's a Niner fan. So, moving on, to watch. This is where I think, and this is what upsets me about the BA contract, because this is kind of where I wish the questions were asked. Hey, Kyle, who's going to get the first crack at safety with Huff? Huff, Drake Greenlaw, and Drake Jackson are officially on PUP. And there until further notice. Who's going to get the first crack at safety? That's kind of something that because it's weird. We're confident about the Niners defense. We've had a top 5 scoring defense. I believe it was 4 out of the last 5 years. I think it's 4 out of the last 5 years we've had a top 5 scoring defense. So many of the starters back, at least non-D line wise and everything. Super Bowl, nobody's going to argue Niners, one of the best rosters in the NFL, all those things. But there are some significant, but there are some questions about this defense. There is there's a lot of hope and a lot of everything's going to go right. But some things that could get potentially hairy. And as much as I love Jair Brown, love what I've seen from him as a rookie, man started 6 games in his NFL career?
6 or 7, I can't remember.
Games in his NFL career. Love George Odom as a special teamer. Not quite sure if I'm ready to start the the season off with him being our starting free safety.
I would almost go right now. It's got to be Jair and George and Odom. You want to have that one guy out there who kind of has that presence.
Yeah, I would think that's what it is too, and that's a little question mark. Linebacker. And the thing about it is too, and as we go through the positions, and kind of give you our thoughts about each one of them, position groups. Safety is definitely one of the positions I can see how we start the year, finish the year. By the end of the year, I fully expect it to be, if we're not rocking a full like 3 safety, with the basically in between safety linebacker type of look, I fully expect it to be Malik and Jair Brown being the starting, let's say, from the bye week on. Jason, your thoughts about the safeties?
I do still think I'm actually okay with Jair. I think he needs to kind of like with Huff did his first. He didn't get that full year to actually grow into the position. So I would love to see him grow more into that situation. Who plays opposite of him right now? I mean, you got Taylor Hawkins out there, George Odom, and then you also have Eric Harris. So I mean, do you go with someone out there who has got a little bit of experience, or do you just throw Malik out there? You know what I mean? Mustafa. Ooh, say it again, Mustafa. You know what I mean? So that's what it's like. Personally, I would prefer to see George Odom out there at least for a little while. Maybe, depending on how long Huff goes, if he's not able to play, for 2 or 3 weeks, then slowly work Malik more into it more often. Because I do think he'd be the more natural selection overall for George. Because George Odom is a little long in the tooth, probably a little slow. And let's be honest, as big as Malik Mustafa is, if he wants on the field, who the hell's going to tell the brother no?
Yeah, for real, right? I mean, let's be real.
He's going to walk up to Sorensen and be like, I want on the field. Yes, sir, please go.
Yeah, for real.
The kid is just stoked to the max. You know what I mean? It's like, wow.
He's something like this rookie. Kyle doesn't play rookies, right? Like we all know this, right? Which is why the Ricky Pearsall and everybody being like, oh, well, we don't even need BA. Really? So you just miss Ricky Pearsall out of all the receivers that the Niners have signed and drafted in here. Ricky Pearsall is just the only one that's not going to end up in the doghouse. Really? Kyle's going to play a rookie receiver, not out of necessity, and he's not going to end up in Kyle's doghouse? Really? Like, we know this. So I am intrigued by the safety class because I think what the Niners would tell you is if our defense is playing the way we want to, it don't matter what fucking safeties we have after there because the quarterback ain't going to have time to throw the ball. Yeah. Right? I mean, what has John Lynch always said about his time when he realized when he went from Tampa to Denver, 5 Mississippis is a lot longer than 3 Mississippi. And the Niners would tell you, look, if our quarterback is holding, if the quarterback is holding onto the ball long enough to expose the secondary, specifically the safeties, then the D-line is not doing their job. I think that's what the Niners would tell you more than the safeties. Linebackers. This is intriguing because I forget who it was. It might have been ESPN. They ranked top defensive position groups and everything like that. And they had basically the Jets with the best D-line, best linebackers, and best secondary. And then at first I laughed. I was like, are you fucking serious, bro? And then I started to think about it and I was like, you know what? Secondary, we're not the best secondary. Linebackers, Bam Bam is going to be Bam Bam. He's going to do his thing. I'm willing to chalk up my issues that I had with last year with basically him playing free safety. You know, I'm going to chalk up those issues that he had last year to that and assume he goes back to being the best linebacker in all of football. And not like Fred had a horrible year. He just didn't have a year up to his standards, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Fred's worst year of his career is still better than 90% of the league. You know, don't get it twisted. But so mysteriously, Devon J. Campbell is going to go back to Pro Bowl form from 2 years ago. Okay.
And see, that's the one I'm like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bruh. Let's be real. The Niners aren't 100% sold on Devon J. Campbell because if they didn't, we wouldn't have tried to sign Eric Hicks.
yeah.
Or Eric Kendricks. So basically, he was our backup option because Kendricks decided to go to the Cry Girls.
And see, I'd rather take a look at some of the younger guys. To be honest,
That's what
with
I'm
you.
saying.
Yeah, Devondre Campbell, he's slow. He doesn't cover very good. And that's the one thing with Greenlaw was, he was just a beast and, he's basically the enforcer on the defense kind of a thing. But his coverage, especially those tight ends, I mean, like I said, simple as this. Look what happened in the Super Bowl. When did all of a sudden Kelsey start becoming an issue? Once
the second Trey Greenlaw went out.
Yep, you heard them like, okay, now we're gonna, Mahomes probably looked over me. She's like, now's our time. They're like, look, we're going to shift everything your way, and I just don't think Devondre Campbell has the speed to keep up with those guys. Now it could be the same thing that Winters.
Mic'd up. If you listen to his mic'd up, he was going, we got to match their intensity. We got to match their intensity. Who was he talking about? He was talking about Trey Greenlaw.
Yep.
That's exactly who he was talking about. Look, Bam Bam's the quarterback. He runs the defense. It's his defense. Okay, that's not a question. The heart and soul, the one that gets fired up. Look who breaks down the linebackers. It's not Fred that breaks down the linebackers. It's Dre that breaks down the linebackers. I think on a defense, on a football team, and especially a defense that we want to be the bullies. We want to hit you play after play after play. We're a 4-quarter football team. So we're like, hey, bro, you might catch that ball over the middle in the first quarter and get that 20 yards. But by the time I've cracked your ass for 3 quarters, by the time that 4th quarter is, you're going to get a little bit of alligator arms, brother. That's what
those arms get shorter and shorter
and shorter with each play, with each hit. And that's the thing. If you ask me, the number one worry I have about the defense is the intensity level that Dre brings. It is what I'm afraid of missing. Jason, thoughts about the linebackers?
Just like I said, I'm not big on the Devondre Campbell. I would rather much see what we've got in the 2 younger guys. Put them out there. And I see Kenny's over here asking about my fantasy quarterbacks. So let me pull up my End Zone Elite quarterbacks right now. So my 2 starting quarterbacks because I played in a two quarterback league. I have Brock Purdy and CJ Stroud as my starting quarterbacks. And this is a dynasty league, so it means no. I pretty much, I got lucky that, I tanked in the right year and I got CJ Stroud. Let me see. Okay, so who you got? Oh, you got Mr. McNiner in the house.
I got it.
Hey, old sorry ass man. So long.
What's cracking, brother?
And then that said, my backup quarterback for either of those guys is Russell Wilson. And to be honest with you, I think Russell Wilson is going to do okay in that Steelers offense. That Steelers offense is built a lot like the Seahawks offense was 5-6 years ago. So I think he'll be okay. But like I said, I've got CJ Stroud and Brock Purdy who are going to start my fantasy football league, my big league, my $1,000 buy-in league. So I'm good.
Ooh, my girl would kill me if I spent a rack on a fantasy football league. She would murder me. Speaking of which, this is one of the things that Jason and I will be discussing after the show. We will be bringing you an NFR fantasy football league The first time this year, everybody's gonna whoop my ass because I'm like, I'm probably gonna barely pay attention to it. But if you are interested, we are making it open to anybody that joins our exclusive group. Link, of course, is in the description.
We need at least 8. We have to have at least 8 players.
Okay, we have at least 8 people. So, David, Kenny, who else is in the chat today? I know BC will probably eventually show up. So anybody, we need at least 8 people to join our fantasy football league. So we're going to go ahead and try to get that cracking for y'all this year. What's up, Mr. Bebop, bruh. We're trying to get 8 people. So we want a commitment of 8 people to do it this year, and we're going to go ahead and get that cracking for you. Let us know, Miss Sanchez. Hello, I believe this is the first time I've seen her on the show. Welcome.
Thank you for showing.
Thank you for showing up. So, we're going to try to get that cracking for y'all. Yeah. See, I want to see. Fred Warner said D Winters had the best OTAs of anybody on the football team. I'd rather see. I've seen DFF. I've seen DFF for a long time in the Super Bowl. I see DFF in my nightmares, bro. Okay, I literally see DFF in my nightmares. Love him as a special teamer. I want to see Jalen Graham or D Winters out there. Let them compete. You know, competition. You obviously have the veterans to bring off the bench if they're just simply not ready or, just aren't capable. I really honestly don't see. Hold on for a second. I want to see if this works. Okay. I figured out how to switch us. I was like, D-line. Now, this is something that I step back and I think to myself, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I wasn't super impressed with Javon Hargrave last year. Not for what we paid him. Not for what he was billed as. I wasn't super impressed with him last year. Now, I'm willing to say that's a one-year fluke. Come back into camp better this shape. Well, late this season. Robert Beal is somebody that I'm intrigued for. The Niners have been obsessed with getting D Ford ever since we've had D Ford. Yeah. And the issue with that is D Ford was a top 10 pick. The Niners haven't picked top 10 since we picked another great defensive lineman in Nick Bosa. That's the last time we picked in the top 10. Yeah, Drake's on pup. Yes, sir. I do play guitar. My guitar's actually in the closet. No, we have not lost BA yet. He did report to camp, actually, which is, I think, positive news.
Is he going to hold in? Do you think he's going to hold in?
I think. Well, see, John said he expected all the players to practice. Now, I don't know if that's we expect. That's our standard for all our players to practice, or if he meant no, BA's talked to us and he's going to participate. Now,
yeah,
what BA showing up to camp is that he wants to be a Niner. This is not a true trade me. I'm done playing for y'all. I'll sit out the whole year if I have to. That ain't I'm done. I'm in my feelings. I have very little leverage, and one of the few things I can do to gain leverage is demand a trade. Yeah. And I hope that a team will call and give y'all a package that, as the Godfather would say, they give us an offer we can't refuse. So he's there because he's getting signed. That's the only reason. I mean, look, bro.
It very well could be.
I don't think they're close. Now, what I think is going to, I don't think, especially if he's holding it. You don't think that John Lynch is going to walk up to BA after practice? Hey, bro, where are we at, Brandon? What do you need?
Let's get this done now. Man to man, what's up?
And I think that's what's going to help get him signed. If he gets signed within the next couple of days, I think that was what face to face. We can't hide between an agent. You know, we're not going to hide behind an agent. We're not going to be, communicating. It's real easy to demand a trade through your agent. When you looked at the GM and head coach, you're looking into the eyes of the GM and the head coach that believed in you, that made your NFL dreams come true, and that you've developed a relationship with over the last 4 years.
True.
I think that's a lot harder to do. So I do think it is a positive sign that BA has reported. Do I think they're close? No. Do I think it'll come in? I would say this: if he's not signed by the first preseason game, and it's hey, BA's been holding in. He signed his contract. We're just going to go ahead and give him, the first training camp on, but he's on the sideline. We're going to give him the day off, and he'll come back into practice, Monday morning.
They do, Bebop.
Yeah, that I've always felt. Yeah, I always thought that was interesting. Like, I wonder how that dynamic is. How it is with John Lynch is communicating to his agent, which is BA's agent. Like, how's that dynamic going?
I'm talking to you about this guy's money, but I also talk to you about my money. Yeah, it's kind of
my money. It's kind of hard to call. Like, can you really cuss out your client? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can they really get into serious arguments? Because
it's got to stay
I'm
somewhat
pretty sure
civil
John.
Where you.
Okay, so we're getting different reports. Same Asian. What the fuck?
Hey, now.
I have heard that. I've heard it is. I have heard that it is the same agent. I have heard they're friends. We'll see. The source that I heard that they share the same, or I shouldn't say the source. The place where I have heard that, I tend to believe they're credible people. We are. So I would tend to believe that they don't make that up without either knowing or having it from a very reliable. Yeah.
I'm looking it up, and it's even being reported by Pat McAfee that they have the same agent, and everything else is looking
okay. So see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I would go, and I would believe they have the same agent. Real fast, D-line, Jason.
I'm curious about the D-line only because I'm curious to see how this is, what it looks like, because it's a restructured line. Obviously, we lost a lot of people off that D-line. And so
did you see the Jaguars put Eric Armstead on pup?
That I did. And I'm not going to say it's funny, but it's just like, hey, guys, this is why we let him go.
Yeah, this is the exact reason why.
But I also don't think, from what I also understand, it's also nothing to be worried about. It's just kind of like, he's got a little bit of the tendinitis stuff and everything.
Issues?
Yeah. But I'm curious to see because we've redesigned this line. We've redesigned it. It looks like we've gotten a little bit bigger in the middle to maybe stuff some more of the running. So how many times are we getting burned with runs straight up the middle?
Straight up the gut.
And now a lot of that is also because Eric Armstead missed, 10 games last year? Yes. So when your best run stopper is not there, you're obviously losing a huge piece. Say what you want. I know a lot of people bitch and moan about Armstead. That defense was vastly superior with him in the middle as that run stopper. That defense ran completely different, especially against the run. So, but it looks like we've kind of replaced. The bottom is not going to drop out on the run D because we don't have Eric Armstead in anymore. Now, it might get a little lower, but instead of taking 10 steps down, we're only taking 2 or 3, which I think all of us can live with. So if we're not giving up those 10 to 20 yard right up the middle runs instead of they're only going for 5 to 10. That's a vast improvement compared to what we got last year. And what we did improve is I think we did improve on the opposite side of Nick Bosa. We did go out and we got
Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd. We got the guy from Carolina, Matos.
Matos.
Not Matos. So, I mean, a lot of those guys, we'll see. I think that the Chase Young experiments did not work. I was kind of actually – the only thing that we lost that I thought was really significant besides Eric Armstead was Randy Gregory. I would have liked to see Gregory on a more of a expanded role, maybe even have him start. And it'll also be interesting to see what happens between like Kalia Davis and Evan Anderson. There's going to be, Kalia Davis has always been injured, but we'll see. But yeah, like I said, I see the line as being much more bendy, but not breaking so much.
Okay, that's fine. But see, I'm okay with that in the sense that I'm not asking Leonard Floyd to be the man. Let's be real. Most sacks getting by this team this year will probably be cleanup sacks. What I want is I just want a baseline play from somebody I want baseline play where I know where I'm going to get down and die down, but with the DN opposite of Nick Bosa. Because where I think what worries me, and to give my thoughts about the D-line, is I don't think this is going to be our best D-line. I'm with you, Jason. I think the floor, what have we said all offseason, raise the floor of this football team.
Mm-hmm. We just don't want the wheels to fall off.
We've raised the floor. I believe that we – oh, he did. I was not aware of that.
I have that set up for Friday's show to go over.
Okay, for sure. So we'll get into that. We'll miss it to tune into Friday's show. So we will have, which I believe, no, there's no camp on Friday. So I believe the floor of this football team will be better. I just don't think we have as high a ceiling. I don't think we're going to get, besides Nick Bosa, I don't think we're going to have another double-digit sack guy. But I feel almost better about that because I feel that's more dangerous. Because that truly means that we have somebody that's a threat. Each level of our defense, each Alpha group, Bravo group, Charlie group, that has multiple people that can get the sack. They might not get you 12. They might not give you 10. But there's some people out 5-6 sacks a year. All of a sudden you say Nick Bosa, which I have a funny suspicion, bro. I have a funny suspicion Nick Bosa is going to have a defensive player of the year type of year this year. I think that Nick went Hargraves in Florida.
I'll just say this. Omenahue is playing next to the best defensive lineman in the league in Chris Jones. That's all I'll say that.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Would you rather have Omenahue or give CMC the extension and made him happy, Kenny? I'd rather have a happy CMC who's motivated and has some security and is playing a lot freer than Charles Omenahue. I also think, Jason, as we transition, and then we're going to get up out of here, we're going to go through these pretty quickly, but as we transition to the offensive side of the ball, do you see this team, like you would say before last year, we've been basically a team that's been dominated by our – right? That's how you – Niners – circa 2019, 2021, 2022, even a little bit 2023.
I was like, you can even go back to the Harbaugh years. Yeah, that's been the identity of this team.
Well, that's all Harbaugh was just basically defense and special teams and run game. And then Alex making a throw here. Hello, Miss Veronica. How you doing?
Miss Veronica, how is it?
So, are you willing that how do I want to put this? I'm willing to bet that they're almost expecting to take a step back defensively because they feel that the offense is ready to take a step or two forward this year. You know, we won't see those games like those games where we go ahead.
I see what you're going with it, where we're not going to have to necessarily where the focus of this team, where if you had said the prior 5 to 6 years, or up until since Shanahan's been here, this team has been noted for its defense. How good is the defense?
Yeah,
it's always been the defense dragging the offensive line or the offense in general to being good. Now we're going to see a switch on that. We're going to see the offense start carrying some more of that weight and start pulling the defense a little bit.
I would be willing to say that we're going to see a lot more 30 to 24 type games than we were 24 to 17 type games. You get what I'm saying?
I agree.
And as this team transitions, I think that's what do Jason and I say on the show all the time, y'all? Don't listen to what we say. Don't listen to what they say. Listen to what they're showing you. And yeah, I saw that, Miss Veronica. Kind of wanted to go out there and see Bam Bam. I just want to meet him one time so I could be like, hey, Bam Bam, do me a favor. Come to I want to say it would be the north end zone, I want to say. But come to the main end zone and just look up to the crowd. And I want to look in your eyes because that's just what gets me, y'all. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Whenever I get to the stadium and I see that the players are out there and everything like that, I got to look in Bam Bam's eyes. Because when I see that look in Bam Bam's eyes, that just gives me the extra oomph I need to get ready and bring my A game, bro. Because just looking at Fred Warner's eyes, bro, just gets me, woo! Yeah, it gets me all sorts of fired up, bro. So,
you want to mow
Real over here. I think Miss Veronica has a crush. Miss Veronica's gonna. Did you give him the teddy bear like you did Debo? Out of curiosity, Miss Veronica. I'm curious if she has a thing for us light skinned niggas. But yeah, so going into
she said yes. She said yes. Okay,
she didn't give me the teddy bear. No, she was talking about the teddy bear. But I think Miss Veronica does have a thing for us light skinned niggas. So anyway, going over the offense. Oh, and a fan letter. That's kind of cool that she writes him a personal fan letter. I bet you that means a lot to him, and I think that's the little things.
Who does handwritten letters? You know what I mean? So I mean, that comes with something, versus a text or a post on Facebook or something like that, like an actual letter that you can touch and feel. Probably, like you said, if someone like if my wife right now was like write me a letter, I'd probably
giving me a moment alone with him, Miss Ron.
You know what I mean? Just because
anyway,
it's such a lost art to give something like an actual handwritten letter. Like I said, if she was to walk in here versus just hand me like a card that something, the generic card that she got at the store, or if it was one that she like wrote out, that I'm like, oh wow, this one's special. You know what I mean?
I wonder if his wife he made him burn it. Like anyway,
no, I got this picture. Those old school letters that you see from like old movies where they take their perfume and they spray it on them and then they spray it on the letter a little bit.
Yeah. He couldn't get over your handwriting, huh? So, how's that cold? Anyway, well, I mean, if you see right here, there was a little girl who, a girl who was getting bullied. She lived in Oklahoma, and she's getting bullied for being a Niner fan by all these Cry Girl fans and everything like that. She said she did the perfume. So anyway, I ended up just giving her a shout out on the show, like, "Hey, girl, you're listening to somebody. You're talking to somebody who lives 20 minutes away from the stadium. Like I live at the heart of the empire." Fuck them niggas. Yeah, I just gave her a little shout out on the show and was like, keep doing what you're doing, girly. We've all been through it. It's just part of being a fan. You wear that shit with a badge of honor. And she drew a little picture that you don't really see it, but it's over right behind me. And she wrote a little note in it, tell me, thank you. And she appreciated the support and stuff like that. So yeah, those type of things really do mean much. And it puts the humanness behind it. It's one thing to buy somebody's jersey, but when you, yeah, I bet, because it's one thing to wear somebody's jersey, but when you write a note, and like I said, we don't know what was in the note, but hey, I appreciate the way you ball. I appreciate the effort that you bring Sunday in, day in, day out, no matter what's going on with your personal life. I remember the first thing that really hit me when it was like, money can't fix anything was when I met program through one of the shelters I stayed at. And long story short, I basically met the stepdaughter did Hewlett and Packard, right? And she said, she goes, I come from a very rich family. Like I had everything. But all that money my dad had, all the power, this is one of the founders of HP. You know what I'm saying? He goes, all that shit didn't mean shit when my mom got cancer. Yeah. Like we were millionaires and none of that shit mattered when my mom got cancer. Yeah. So I think that does mean something. Okay, real quick through the offense. Receivers, obviously, BA. BA doesn't show up. BA, for some reason, not here. Week 1, Ricky Pearsall take his place.
Well, that's if Ricky Pearsall can get on the field right now with him being hurt. Right now, you know whose time it is to shine? Juwan Jennings. That new contract, show him why we re-signed you. And Angela's going to love this.
You know who
Colin,
I'm going to give?
Now's your turn. Now is your time to shine. You want to prove you get more playing time above your quote your draft capital. Now's the time. Ronnie Bell, same thing to you.
Or Conley,
yeah, Chris Conley. The only person I'm not really worried about is Danny Gray. I think Danny Gray is.
I was gonna say him, and I was like, bro, we've chalked it up. We just talked up Danny Gray. Like Danny Gray's off. He might as well start. You know how I said one coach when I was getting ready to finish high school, I sent one coach a letter to show that it was Fresno City, right? Because that was my plan when I got out of high school. I was going to go to Fresno City, go 2 years there, live with my mom, then transfer over to San Jose State, live at the dorms at San Jose State. So I sent an email to the head coach at San Jose, Fresno City, saying, hey, I'm interested in playing on the football team, blah, 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 blah. Danny Gray might as well start sending out those letters. Like, hey, I'm interested in, I've always wanted to play.
And I'm not going to say everything is necessarily 100% on Danny Gray. Danny Gray was drafted for a quarterback that's no longer on this team. He was specifically drafted because of Trey Lance. And let's be honest, for one play, we saw why. One play was freaking awesome.
It was beautiful.
The potential. It was a beautiful fucking play.
I still think about it.
The offense has changed. The focus has changed, and he just hasn't he hasn't made his way into anything else substantial besides, he's gotten a couple chances and he's either been hurt or he's dropped them.
And this is the reason why they say NFL means for not for long. NFL means not for long.
Like Eminem said, you get one chance. You get one moment.
One shot. So, O-line. I've heard this say about O-linemen, tree fall hard. Right, tree fall hard, and basically the big boys, when it leaves them fast. Yeah. Now, my question is, do I think Trent Williams is starting to tail off and everything like that? Sure, maybe. but him tailing off is still better. What my concern with Trent Williams is can you tell me, like, what percentage? Fine, we make it to the Super Bowl. We make it to the NFC Championship game. How good, how healthy is Trent Williams going to be at that point? That's my concern. My concern isn't whether Trent Williams is going to fall off a cliff this year. I'm not concerned about that until I see it. I'm more concerned what we saw in the Super Bowl is not the norm. I don't believe that. I believe what we saw in the Super Bowl is probably what we might see again, which is, you know what? He's a 38-year that just played fucking 19 games, on his 20th game. So you're a year older, right? You have whatever little injuries. I don't care what anybody says. They don't 100% go away.
No.
Can we rely?
Oh, sorry.
Can we rely on Trent Williams being there? Trent Williams in the Super Bowl?
I'm going to say yes. He chose. I shouldn't say he chose, but it just happens to be that he had the absolute worst game of the season in the Super Bowl. I mean, it happens to people. Everybody, you know what I mean? He plays in 10 Super Bowls. That's the one outlier. So now we've got that one outlier back. You know what I mean? Now we're back. Now we'll get the Trent Williams that we know and love and that we expect to have there. So, I mean, like I said, it just happened to be the one time we get there. We have a chance. He has his bad game. I would never be an issue. I would never have an issue with Trent again in any situation like that again. As far as him falling off, yeah, it's probably going to fall off a cliff. But until then, he's still the best damn offensive lineman in the league. And he was ranked that way. I forget who. I think it was PFF ranked him as the number one offensive lineman in the league.
PFF. And you know what my issue with this Trent Williams is? Old Trent Williams. Well, who the fuck are you going to get that's better, or level, or even a step below? Because if you we talk about this all the time, and I'm guilty too, because y'all know I don't watch other teams. So I'm guilty. I'm so Niner focused. I don't know about other teams. But offensive line play ain't great in the NFL. So if there's an offensive lineman that would be a suitable starter, a left tackle in the league, replacement for Trent Williams, he ain't fucking becoming a free agent.
There's one person I can think of, especially long term. One person. Penny Sewell.
Who?
Penny Sewell.
Yeah, the Lions are going to trade us Penny Sewell, Jason.
Exactly. Yes, I'm saying. It's like there's one person, and they just locked him up to like an 8-year deal in the offseason, so he's not going. Penny Sewell is about the only good person to consider in the same atmosphere range as fucking Trent is right now.
So I do think, look, I think the Niners are in a position where part of the reason Trent Williams will be here as long as Trent Williams wants to be here is because the Niners are going to feel we're not getting any better until, he falls off that cliff and he's like, okay, Trent, believe it or not, Trent Williams is at replacement level, believe it or not. But tight ends, obviously tight end too, because I believe if we had a legit tight end too, just even a blocking tight end that could get George Kittle off the field, but that could take off the blocking George Kittle. Because do I feel what kills George Kittle is running routes and catching passes? No, I believe what kills George Kittle is staying back and blocking. And so I believe if we had a legit tight end too in last year's Super Bowl, I think we win the Super Bowl. That could be probably one of the only weaknesses and one of the things preventing this team from winning a championship is our lack of being able, like Trent Williams. Can we rely on a healthy George Kittle in the Super Bowl? And how do you? I shouldn't say guarantee it because nothing's guaranteed. But how do you give that? How do you give yourself the best possibility? God, Braden Willis. I just hope Braden Willis steps up. That's at this point, that's my one hope.
I do like Eric Saubert. I do like him, especially when you were talking about the blocking aspect of things. Yeah. Do I necessarily think he's going to go out there and do Kittle-like catching? No, I think he's a better Charlie Warner.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I do believe that. Cameron Latu, yeah, you still dropped everything that's thrown at you in the last 5 years of your life. Logan Thomas is probably going to be hurt by week 3.
I like him.
There was a time I liked.
Does he make the 53? But does he make the 53?
The initial 53, yes. Talk to me in week 4.
Okay, I'm willing to say that. I'm willing to say that.
Get hurt. I don't think he has played a full season in like 4 years. That's my issue. There was a time where I was a very, very big Logan Thomas fan. In fact, there was another time where he was a free agent. I was like, go get him. Now, again, he'll make the initial 53. He'll play. Talk to me after week 4. We'll see if he's, how much further he's ready to play. That said, Braden Willis. He's still. Yeah. I'm still all in on Braden Willis. He's got.
I like some Braden Willis.
Yeah.
Thing I'm keeping my fingers crossed in as far as tight end 3 or tight end 2 is I hope we can find somebody that holds it down until we can see if Mason Pline.
Yeah, I mean, but Mason Pline's a year or 2 away, so that's going to be,
that's what
next year at the absolute earliest.
I think he needs a year to develop as well.
Yeah.
Fullback, no use in discussing it. We all know who the fullback is.
Unless we're putting Trent Williams back there, there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about, which don't give Kyle any ideas.
Why? I've been trying to give Kyle this idea for years.
Hey, look, what did you and I say, Jason? That third down against the Yams. I just would have said, big boy, just go that way and we're going to follow you. And I'm going to live or die with my season on the line with following.
What's his name? Brad Houston or whatever. Brad Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. They use Penny Sewell like that all the time. Penny Sewell is constantly going in motion. He's constantly catching passes. Can we please let
I wonder if Trent looked at Kyle and said, "Never do that shit ever again." I would after that one play in Green Bay. I wonder if Trent went to Kyle and said, "Never do that shit again." We still need to get Trent a touchdown. Fuck it, Trent Williams, tight end number 2. Let's go, baby.
All right, who's gonna fucking play left tackle?
There you go. Well, we'll figure it out. Trent's gonna take the DN, throw him in the stands, and then go for a 5-yard slant for a touchdown. Let's do it, baby. So running back, my question is this. Kyle said that they're going to try to give CMC the least load. My biggest question, not even Elijah Mitchell, is that 2 questions. Can we see some JP Mason? Right? Can we see some JP Mason, especially in closing time, which he's proven in the playoffs against our biggest playoff rival, mind you.
That he's good at
it. That he's good at it. And number 2, which everybody says is pass blocking. Look, if you're in the run the ball, if you're in run the clock out mode, there's no fucking need for pass blocking. And then number 2 is Isaac Guerrero versus Cody Schrader. Ultimately, I think the thing that helps Isaac Guerrero is the new kickoff rules. I think he was drafted to be one of our kick returners.
Mm-hmm.
But are we going to see the typical Kyle thing? We draft a running back, he barely sees it, and we sign an undrafted free agent that's better. Or is Guerrero the kick returner, and at the very least, you got something out of this running back that we drafted. Jason, running backs.
I think between the two of them, Cody Schrader is more CMC-ish in his play style.
Yeah.
So I think that if you want to keep the offense relatively the same play calling, same play design, blah, 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 Cody Schrader would be the much more natural person to fill that role. But like you said, looking at Isaac Guerrero, I think he fills that kickoff role perfectly. He's a little bit thicker. He's got he's not necessarily the fastest guy in the world, but he hits holes hard. And if those guys are not going to be that fast, he can break through them. Elijah Mitchell, I don't think he's long. I think we're going to Carlos Hyde him at some point this year.
Yeah.
And then as far as Mason goes, can we just get him on like third and shorts? If it's 3rd and 1 instead of giving him CMC. You know what I mean? How many 3rd and 1s do we see CMC get the ball? And we know if we're running 3rd and 1, that box is going to be stacked and there's going to be lots and lots of hitting. So why, if we're pretty positive that we're going to get the first down because Kyle can scheme all this thing so greatly, why not just let someone who's a little bit bigger and a little bit younger than Christian get some of those carries? He doesn't have to get every single one either. If the game is on the line, the fourth quarter, you stick with CMC.
Yeah, of course.
But if it's the first quarter, we're at our 40, we're at the 50-yard line. It's 3rd and a yard. What's wrong with throwing Mason in there? What's wrong with throwing Guerrero in there? What's wrong with throwing Schrader in there? Hell, who knows what's going to happen with Patrick Taylor? He's on there too.
I totally forgot him. He was on this team.
But I mean, at some point, we have these other options. You want to take some of that burden off of Christian. That's where you don't necessarily take it off of him first, second down all the time. You take him off from that 3rd and a half a yard, or you don't let Brock sneak it kind of thing. So that's where I think we need to get him some rest.
And then last but least, before we get out of here, quarterback. The only question I have of Brock is like, I had somebody ask me this question. Do you believe Brock, the Niners have found their quarterback? Yes. Partly because of what we've seen. Look, what do we say? Say all the time, don't listen to what we tell you. Don't listen to what Kyle tells you. Listen to what Kyle. Watch what Kyle shows you. Kyle shows you this offense is different than it was with Jimmy. I don't give a fuck how similar the numbers are. Obviously, under Brock Purdy. Facts. Also, I think it's a little bit of a, well, where are you going to get better? Again, just franchise quarterbacks drop to the 7th round all the time, Jason. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
Like,
so we got Joe,
I
Steve. I think Brady. Well, I mean, I guess Brady was in the 6th round, so I mean, he kind of can't when the GOAT's back there.
But I'm just saying, like, this will never happen again in Niner history, right? Like,
and it'll be 50 years before it happens again in the NFL.
Yeah. 100 even, maybe. We by the time it happens. So my question is, does Brock take the next step? Like, I should say if he takes the next step. Like, what does the next step look like for Brock?
I think
is it truly truly NFL caliber play? Is it the minute details, or do we see a slight regression? Quarterbacks don't have MVP years every year. I think it's more the former than the latter. I do think there are games. I think it was so funny. I was watching this. I don't know if it was every off-schedule play, but it was a bunch of luck, and there was some luck, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like you know me, I love dirty Purdy shit. We were there to see his first NFL pass.
Yeah, right in front of us, actually.
But right in front of us, literally right in front of us. One of my images, the image I remember most from that game was that third down throw to Kittle in the two. That's when I was like, okay, this is a little something. But there was a lot of cross.
I remember saying stuff like that to you about Brock. Like I was like, this kid's got a little something.
Yeah,
I watched enough of it.
Yeah, I remember our conversations from the offseason. So crazy when you think about it. Anyway, but there was a lot of luck. There was a lot of damn. If the DB had been there a half second earlier,
not much. That's all it takes.
Or that ball kind of floated. Yeah, the ball kind of floated up there a little bit. You know, like, oh, I didn't like how that ball.
Like the one that he threw to Jennings, where it was like in the air for about an hour and a half, and it just dove. Right. Like, how many times are we going to get that again?
Look back at the throw. It was the one, I want to say it was BA that took it against Jacksonville. I want to say it was BA that the ball was going to Kittle, but it got tipped or something. It ended up going to BA. It's like, bro, how many times is that picked? Like that's picked 9 out of 10 times.
Because there was
just to be the one out of 10.
Perfect DB right behind BA that would have taken it from Kittle perfectly.
And so it's little throws like that. Now, does Brock continue to do that? Then I think we're going to see a struggle, right? Or does he can truly learn, and I'm not going to say take that out of his game because you don't want to put the reins on how he plays naturally, because I think that's one of Brock's best qualities is he naturally plays the quarterback position well. You know, you don't want to take from, his flow and things of that nature, but can he tune it down? You know, can he start to say, perfect example, the first red zone pick against Cincinnati, and he throws, and it's that blown play where he meant to hand it off, doesn't hand it off. It's a blown play, and he ends up throwing the pick to the D lineman. Instead of trying to play hero ball, does Brock learn to say, hey, you know what? Let's live to fight another down. Let's kick my defense to give the ball back, and we're going to score on the next drive and take the lead. You know, or does he try to win the game right there? Those are things. If Brock can improve on those, I do think we have a legit franchise MVP level quarterback. I do. Thoughts on Brock, Jason?
I think Brock will be taking the next step, but I don't necessarily think it's the step on the it's on the field, but it's like where this team needs to finally become his. Granted, he's kind of taken that step. You know, you saw a lot of it last year, and it's becoming more and more of that. But I think the step that he needs to take is that when we look at this team anymore, we don't look at George Kittle, seeing that it's his team. We don't look at Fred Warner. We don't look at Trent Williams. We don't look at anybody else. When we look at this team, we need to be sure that is our leader. That is our quarterback. This is the guy that's going to lead this franchise. Does that mean that his stats might go up and down? Yes. Like you had said, it's an ebb and flow. Sometimes it's going to be better. Sometimes it's going to be better. Or sometimes it's going to be worse. He could go down a little bit. He could throw, 3 or 4 more interceptions, but also throw for 1,000 yards more just because of how things work out. He could throw for 2,000s less, and yet we could put up 5 more points a game on average. So there's all those kind of things, but I want to see him, at least by the end of this year, I want this to be, because as you know, it's been predicted and said 1,500 times, this is the last ride for this set of guys. The vets that are on this team, this is the last ride. After this, next year, win, lose, or draw, this game, this team looks a lot different next year. Evan Flow to a lot of butterflies. Yep. But so when we look at this team, so when we look at this team next year, I think it needs to be solidified that this is Brock's team, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to see him take over.
I get you. Another player on Madden, it's just on the Madden cover, it's just no question that it's Brock Purdy. The number 13 jerseys. I get you, Jason. I get you. And these are things that I believe will happen. You know, this is not doubt. This is not misbelief on my part. I do believe Brock will bring us 6. I think this might be the best opportunity because this might be the most talented team But, you know, I do believe Brock is that damn dude. I'm going to throw one more at you, Jason. Kyle, what would you like to do we lose Jason?
No, I'm here.
We lost
I was
me.
waiting for you to finish.
Okay. My bad. I froze for a second. Anyway, what most would you like to see on this show?
Well, being as what's happened with Bill Belichick and him being basically an open offer to come join the staff, I think that is a move that Kyle put aside his ego and he realized he probably needs some help. And so we'll see how the season progresses and how it goes. But to me, that showed me what I wanted to see out of Kyle. I wanted to see out of Kyle for the last 2 or 3 years is can he get out of his way? Can he let his ego go? Now, if depending on how this thing goes with, granted he asked for help and Bill Belichick has said no, but the fact that he, put his ego aside enough to ask for help, that to me shows me a lot more than we've seen in years ever since Kyle's been his head coach. So I've already seen what I need to see so far into the season. We'll see how the season ends. But right now, knowing that one step was taken by Kyle, I'm okay. I'm actually excited to see what other steps he can take.
Because I think the issues you and I have are not, for the most part, you're always still going to have issues with the play call here, play call there. I think the issue I have most with Kyle is not Kyle, the offensive, guru, not Kyle, the offensive play caller. My are with Kyle, the head coach, i.e., we brought up the fact of it. The more I've thought about it, the more I have actually agreed with your initial assessment and gone away from what I thought is there is no way in fucking hell that any member of the Niners should have stepped on that field in overtime in the Super Bowl and not known the rules. That's just inexcusable. That's where I want to see Kyle improve. I want to see Kyle, the head coach, head coach, take more of responsibilities. It's getting so hot in here. My posters are starting to fall down. And so we'll go ahead and wrap it up right here. I'm going to go ahead and run the intro real quick, or outro real quick, Brett, and then I'll bring you back on. All right, for sure. All right, y'all. Out of here. Thanks, everybody, for joining this week. We shall see y'all next. I shall see y'all. I'll be going live, hopefully on everything, live from training camp. Can't wait. And then, like Jason said, we'll be back Friday, 7 p.m. Jason, 7 on Friday. I'll figure it out later. We'll figure it out later. 6. All right. I think he said 6. All right. We'll be live 6 p.m. here on the West Coast. Then, yes, Miss Veronica. I think Miss Veronica said it the best. All right. So I thought you said so sweetie. I was like, oh, I'm looking so sweaty. Yeah, it's hot as shit, y'all. I'm sacrificing a lot for y'all. All right, y'all. We shall see y'all then. Till then, love and happiness. Go Niners.